Ancestors. What are ancestors? Ancestors are loved ones who have passed away and moved on into a higher existence known as the ancestry realm. The role of ancestors has always been very significant, whether it be in everyday life or in major events. Ancestors can offer advice, bestow good fortune and honor to their living descendants, and also make demands. Demands such as ensuring that their shrines are properly maintained and taken care of, and if this does not happen, misfortune can come across the caretakers of the shrine. There are two types of ancestors, the venerable ancestor and the not honorable ancestor. Not everyone can become a venerable ancestor. To become venerated, you must have achieved a certain feat in your lifetime or something to be remembered by that helped your tribe. In other words, you must have done something worthy of praise. Our ancestors' deities. African spirituality is not a closed system, meaning that it can differ depending on the environment or tribe. Some believe that ancestors are equal in power to deities, while others do not. As mentioned earlier, it is also believed that ancestors live in a higher state of existence as compared to human beings. In this state of existence, they are able to bestow blessings and good fortunes upon their descendants, as well as illnesses and punishments. The ancestral realm is organized in a hierarchy that parallels the human world. The rank of the deceased rises as the rank of those who are living rises as well. For example, if a son, the heir to someone who passed away, were to rise in power, then the person who passed away will rise in power in the ancestral realm. The worship of ancestors. To worship ancestors, there is often an offering that is given or a meal that is dedicated to the person who has passed. Offerings usually consisted of items that the deceased enjoyed while they were still living. Other means of worship include visiting their graves and lighting candles, cleaning their graves, and most importantly, verbal communication with the ancestors. Verbal communication is something that we'll get back to in the next section. The spiritual connection between ancestors and the living world. There are two types of genetics that are believed to exist in this world: the spiritual genetics and the physical genetics. Physical genetics is the connection between child and family, which is brought into the world when the child is born. Spiritual genetics is the connection between those who are passed on into the ancestral realm and those who are living. Spiritual genetics come from within, therefore you do not necessarily need to visit an ancestor's grave to be able to communicate with them. This is why verbal communication is so important, because it's so easily accessible and you can do it wherever and whenever. Now, how does this relate to the dimensions of religion? The practical dimension covers acts of worship and meditation. In regards to ancestors, practitioners of traditional African religions worship ancestors by bringing offerings and dedicating meals to them. There are also shrines that are dedicated to the ancestors as a means of showing reverence for those that have come before them. The experiential dimension is the bringing together of religious phenomena through feelings. Ancestors bring shamanistic experiences due to the fact that they are able to alter the way of life of those who are living. Ancestors have the power to bestow blessings upon their descendants or misfortune as a way to keep them from straying onto the wrong path. The institutional dimension refers to organized structures of religion such as hierarchies. In the ancestral realm, there is a hierarchy depending on the rank of the ancestor's living counterparts. There is also the belief that ancestors are equal in power to the deities to a certain extent, and another example would be venerable and not honorable ancestors, describing who is more important to the people as a whole. The material dimension of physical representations or expressions of faith. Music, such as the song that you hear in the background of this video, are used to call upon the ancestors during times of need. Shrines and statues also fall under this dimension because they are physical representations of the ancestors.